All right, on to part 2. This, you can use a calculator. You just have to make sure in our directions, it does say draw a diagram. Now in number 11, it kind of has a diagram drawn for you already, even though it says number 11. So drawing a diagram first for number 9, I pick out the important pieces of information. So first off, Kelvin here walks 5 blocks east, then 10 blocks north. And then the question is, how far is the ballpark from his home? A direct path means a straight line from his home to the ballpark. So if he starts at his home and he walks 5 blocks east, I just kind of make a little drawing for that. So east is to the right, and then he walks 10 blocks this way and he ends at his ballpark, so that's 10 blocks. And a direct path means he wants to know if he were to take a shortcut from his house to the ballpark right there, how long would that be? So we do need to use the Pythagorean theorem for this. So we go ahead and set it up to say, well, I know this is my right angle. So I know my legs touch my right angle, my A and my B. And so we're trying to find our missing C side. So I'm going to take our A, which is 5, and I have to square it. I add that to 10, because that's my A squared and my B squared. So 5 squared plus 10 squared equals our missing side here. We don't know what that is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So 5 squared is 25, and 10 squared is 100, and I have C squared. So then I add them together. I get 125 equals C squared, so we're almost done. The last thing I have to do is take the square root of both sides and I'll get my answer. So when we do that on a calculator, I get approximately 11.2, and then I have to be sure I put my label here. My label is blocks. All right, so make sure you do put that on your test, because I might count off a half point if you don't have the label there for that. So once again, A squared plus B squared equals that C squared. On that side, we solve for C, and we have that done. All right, on to number 10. We've got some window washers. Let's see, he's holding a ladder. So Liliana's holding the ladder, Tony's washing. The top of the ladder reaches the windows, and which is 12 feet off the ground. So the first thing I'm going to draw is this 12 feet off the ground. So this is like the ground right here, right, where the house is. This is the window. When we get to the window up here that they're washing, it stops there. It shows my 12 feet. And then the distance from this to the ladder, it tells us is 9 feet away. So this is 9 feet. And we need to know this distance of this ladder that's kind of leaning up against the house from the ground right here. So really we have another A squared plus B squared equals C squared problem. So I just kind of solve for that. 12 squared plus 9 squared equals that missing side that I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. 12 squared is 144. 9 squared is 81. And that's C squared. When I add them together, I get 225 equals C squared. And that's nice because really, if you're using your perfect square sheet, you'll notice that the square root of 225 is actually a perfect square. So C ends up becoming 15 feet. And so I would even like you to say something like, because the question is, how long is the ladder? You know, say a sentence. So the ladder is 15 feet long. So that's something I should have done up here on my blocks too, because the question was, you know, how far is the ballpark? I should have said the ballpark is 11.2 blocks away from his house. All right, on to number 11, which is our last question that we have. Jake plans to use a ramp to make it easier to move a piano out of the back of his truck. The back of the truck is, and remember I had you cross off the 33 and one of the 65s because that matches our picture here. Now this time we're missing a leg. We're not missing the hypotenuse. So here's the back of the truck. You know, this truck, if I were to draw a picture of this moving vehicle, the back of the truck, I guess I can kind of, you know, have this truck. You got the wheels here, like that. You got the cab. Yeah, I know, it's awesome picture, right? So you got these tires. So the back of the truck's here off the ground. Here's the ramp, and we're trying to figure out this distance from the base of the bottom of the truck to the base of that ramp. So I know what my, I know that my b squared is 33, so we can call x or a, it doesn't matter which one you use. So a squared plus that 33 squared equals 65 squared. So when I do that, 33 squared is 1,089. And I know 65 squared is actually 4,225. I don't know what a squared is. So what I have to do next is to get a by itself. I've got to subtract both of these away from each other. So when I do that, I get a squared by itself equals 3,136. And so when I take the square root of both sides, I get an exact answer of x, or that missing, equals 56. And that's 56 inches, all right? So 56 inches long is what we're looking at. Make sure you put that label there. So if I said the whole thing, I would say the horizontal distance from the end of the ramp to the back of the truck is 56 inches. That's what you would say for that. Make sure you do have drawings for all of these, and make sure you have your work shown, because that's what I want to see. All right, so make sure you are spending some time reviewing each question. Take some notes. Remember, you can take all these notes that you want and put it in your I&B, and that way you have them for your test. All right, good luck on your test tomorrow. Make sure you study tonight, and I'll talk to you later.